Hey everyone, welcome back! This week's packed with awesome new releases, from must-watch movies to binge-worthy shows you don't want to miss. I've rounded up the top 11 movies and TV shows hitting streaming right now, so let's skip the scrolling and get straight to the good stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you love staying updated on what to watch next. Number 10. Dudes, the Netflix series. Dudes follows four close-knit friends in their 40s who are trying to figure out what it means to be modern men in a changing world. Each of them faces midlife crises, from broken relationships to fading careers, while attempting to redefine masculinity in their own clumsy ways. Their bond is tested by secrets, betrayals, and the pressure to grow up without losing their sense of humor. The show mixes comedy with heartfelt drama, capturing both the absurd and the emotional sides of friendship. Viewers will see how these men stumble through life's challenges while leaning on one another for support. You can watch Dudes exclusively on Netflix. Number 9. The Last Frontier. The Last Frontier, coming October 10th, 2025, is a high-stakes thriller set in the remote Alaskan wilderness. Frank Remnick, a nearly retired U.S. Marshal, is tasked with safeguarding a quiet frontier town when a prison transport plane crashes nearby, unleashing dozens of dangerous fugitives into the wild. What seems like a tragic accident soon reveals deeper conspiracy as Frank and the town become targets of a larger hidden plot. Along the way, he must not only hunt down the escaped inmates across brutal terrain, but also reckon with threats to his family, his community, and his own sense of purpose. The show combines elements of survival drama, conspiracy, and action, with nature itself becoming a formidable adversary. The series will be available to watch exclusively on Apple TV+. Number 8. House of David, Season 2. In House of David Season 2, Israel is on the brink of collapse as King Saul's rule weakens and the kingdom fractures under internal and external pressures. David, once a humble shepherd, evolves into a warrior and rising leader, struggling with the weight of loyalty, destiny, and the shifting loyalties of those around him. Families begin to break apart, forbidden romances ignite, and alliances pivot as faith and power intersect in dangerous ways. The show explores how warfare changes in the Age of Iron, making battles more brutal and political power more precarious. David must navigate palace intrigue, jealous rivals, and his own sense of purpose, while the fate of Israel hangs in the balance. Season 2 delves deeper into the cost of leadership and the sacrifices demanded by a crown. You can watch House of David on Prime. Number 7. Monster, the Ed Gein Story. Monster, the Ed Gein Story is the third installment in Netflix's true crime anthology series, premiering on October 3, 2025. This season delves into the chilling life of Ed Gein, a notorious murderer and grave robber from the 1950s rural Wisconsin, portrayed by Charlie Hunnam. The narrative explores Gein's descent into madness, influenced by deep isolation, psychosis, and an unhealthy attachment to his domineering mother, Augusta, played by Laurie Metcalf. Gein's perverse crimes, including exhuming graves and turning human remains into household items, birthed a new kind of monster that would haunt Hollywood for decades, inspiring iconic horror films like Psycho, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and The Silence of the Lambs. The series also examines the cultural impact of Gein's crimes, featuring characters like Alfred Hitchcock, portrayed by Tom Hollander, and Ilse Koch, played by Vicky Krieps. The show is expected to draw a significant audience, following the massive success of its previous seasons, which focused on Jeffrey Dahmer and the Menendez brothers. Fans can watch Monster, the Ed Gein Story exclusively on Netflix. Number 6. Vicious. When Polly, played by Dakota Fanning, receives a mysterious box from a late-night visitor, it comes with a chilling instruction. Place 3 items inside: something you hate, something you need, and something you love. What begins as an odd ritual soon spirals into a horrifying descent as the boundaries between reality and nightmare blur. Polly becomes trapped in a labyrinth of fear, forced to confront memory, trauma, and her own inner demons. As each choice she makes leads deeper into darkness, she must fight not just for survival but to maintain her identity. The film leans heavily on psychological tension, haunting imagery, and emotional dread to unsettle the viewer. Vicious premiered at Fantastic Fest and will be released on Paramount Plus and digital platforms on October 10th, 2025. Number 5. The Woman in Cabin 10. A travel journalist named Lo accepts an assignment aboard a luxurious yacht, hoping for a peaceful voyage and a good story. Late at night, she witnesses what appears to be a passenger being thrown overboard, but when she reports it, the crew insist everyone is accounted for and nothing out of the ordinary occurred. As no one believes her, Lo becomes desperate to prove the truth, digging into both the ship's crew and its passengers. The deeper she delves, the more she uncovers disturbing secrets, conspiracies, and dark motivations behind the facade of the cruise. Tension builds as her sanity and safety are tested, and she must battle against isolation and disbelief in order to survive. Based on the bestseller by Ruth Ware, the film plays with psychological suspense, unreliable perception, and claustrophobic dread. This movie is scheduled to be released on Netflix on October 10th, 2025. Number 4. Him. Him follows Cameron, Cam Cade, a promising young quarterback whose life is upended when, on the eve of the NFL scouting combine, he's viciously attacked by a deranged fan and suffers a serious brain injury. He's offered a chance to train under his idol, Isaiah White, an aging football legend, at a secluded, mysterious compound. But what starts as mentorship spirals into a horrifying descent into cult-like rituals, violence, and supernatural forces. Cam gradually realizes his mentor's benevolent facade hides dark secrets, and that achieving greatness may require unspeakable sacrifices. The film blends psychological horror, religious allegory, and brutal spectacle as Cam is forced to confront the cost of ambition and identity. In the climactic confrontation, Cam kills Isaiah and is confronted with the darker truth behind his rise, that him, the ideal, the greatest, is more a demonic mantle than a title. You can currently buy or rent him digitally on platforms like Amazon Prime Video and Apple TV. Number 3. The Toxic Avenger. Winston Goose is a downtrodden janitor in a decaying, polluted town, struggling to support his stepson and dealing with a terminal brain condition. He works for a corrupt chemical company run by Bob Garbinger, who deliberately exposes the community to environmental toxins and denies Winston access to life-saving treatment. After a catastrophic accident involving toxic waste, Winston is transformed into a grotesque mutant vigilante known as Toxie, gaining superhuman strength and a distorted appearance. As Toxie, he embarks on a mission to expose the corporate rot and protect the voiceless, facing off against Garbinger and his twisted associates. His journey is both gruesome and darkly comic, rife with gore, bizarre imagery, and social satire about corporate greed, healthcare, and environmental collapse. In the end, Winston must grapple with how much of his humanity he's willing to sacrifice to save his world and redeem himself. Number 2. Caught stealing Hank Thompson, Austin Butler, was once a high school baseball phenom, but a tragic accident derailed his career and left him haunted by guilt. Now working as a bartender in New York's Lower East Side, he lives a quiet, regret-filled life while trying to stay afloat. His world is turned upside down when his punk neighbor, Russ, Matt Smith, asks him to cat-sit during a trip, a simple favor that drags Hank into the crosshairs of criminal forces. A hidden key inside the cat's litter box links him to scheming Russian gangsters, corrupt cops, and ruthless moneylenders who all want answers. As violence and betrayal spiral, Hank is forced to navigate alliances, uncover secrets, and fight for his survival in a world he never intended to enter. The film blends dark humor, gritty crime elements, and suspense, framed by a 1998 New York City backdrop. You can currently buy or rent Caught Stealing digitally on platforms like Prime Video. Number 1. The Conjuring. Last Rites. Ed and Lorraine Warren return in what's planned as a culminating chapter in their supernatural investigations, this time tackling a case linked to the Smurl family's haunting in Pennsylvania. A newly purchased antique mirror triggers strange phenomena in the Smurl household, objects shifting, violent manifestations, and psychic distress, especially affecting their daughter Judy. As the Warrens grow older and face health and spiritual struggles, they attempt one final exorcism to save the family and put their own demons to rest. The movie interweaves the Warrens' personal history, including a traumatic loss, with the dark forces they face, escalating into a desperate battle between faith and evil. The horror sequences combine jump scares, psychological terror, and moments of emotional weight as the Warrens facing their legacy must sacrifice to bring closure. In many ways, Last Rite seeks to wrap up long-running threads in the Conjuring universe while delivering one last scare. The Conjuring. Last Rites is available for digital purchase or rental on major platforms like Amazon Prime.